Disney chose Jimmy Kimmel Live to reveal the first clip of the Mandalorian and Grogu, Star Wars' big return to movie theaters. And it was a bit of an interesting clip. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, did you see this clip at all? Like
I have not. This looks like some kind of Gollum character.
Yeah, so no, that is Zeb from Rebels.
I have not seen
So
Rebels.
we can't play the clip in its entirety, obviously, because we'll get copyright struck into oblivion. But so essentially, you've got stormtroopers that are chasing this transport, and you've got Mando telling Grogu that he's got to like hit a certain button in the ship in order to like save them and fire it off. So you have Grogu doing his little Grogu thing, and of course he hits the wrong button. Here, maybe I could, like he goes and he flips the wrong button, he hits the wrong switch, and then that just fires missiles, and that's not what he wanted. This is the clip they chose, guys. This clip, this one right here, which is basically a recycled joke from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Then he hits another then he hits another one, and that's not it either. Isn't it, Vash, kind of the it's the Baby Groot joke, isn't it?
Yep, yeah. It is the Baby Groot joke. I was wondering why this felt familiar. And you're right, it's from the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Only when, it's not as funny or as endearing.
No. No. I thought the cinematography, by the way, the composition of shots and everything like that, I thought it was a little bit low skilled for Jon Favreau. I just don't think he really nailed it right here. It feels like it's extracted from the television show,
exactly,
and not necessarily ready for movies. Oh, go ahead, Tab.
No, I'm agree with you. I was thinking the same thing while you're talking. I'm like, every shot that I've seen of this upcoming movie looks like it's made for TV. That is not to say it's necessarily bad, but we all know that there's a huge difference in quality when it comes to creating a movie versus creating a TV show. This just keeps looking like they just made a TV show and then said, let's just make it in, like they already filmed it for season 4, if you will, and then said, what if we just turn season 4 into a movie?
Yeah.
And I for me, I've got my Grogu stuff. Yes, I was part of the hype. I was all excited when Mandalorian first came out, and I was like, is Star Wars finally coming around? This show is great. We all remember the hype for that. But at this point, even though I find Grogu adorable and all that kind of stuff, it's now getting on the side of I'm getting irritated with Grogu because it's just more of the same. The reason that a lot of this stuff like works with Groot and everything like that is because we know that Groot grows up. There is a change. First, we see them, as an adult, then he's a baby, then he's like a teenager, all this kind of stuff. We see some evolution. Yeah. Grogu staying like an 3-year-old, even though he can master the Force and, all this kind of stuff, and he can do flips and whatever, but somehow he's just remaining stupid. Dare I say, well, I can't say that word, but, staying limited while still being able to physically do things. It's like his brain is not fully developed at this point. How many years are we now into Mandalorian by Star Wars age? I don't know. I don't know how many years this is after the first episode of the Mandalorian. But it's like, okay, but there's no development. Yeah, he can use the Force, but he can't talk. He can't even push a button correctly. It's not cute anymore. It's annoying. It would be like watching a 3-year-old child develop skills on how to play the piano, but then they look at you and they start drooling because they have no idea how to open the refrigerator.
Right. I'm 100% in agreement. I have been saying for years, the problem with Grogu is now no evolution. It's the same gags. It's the same, like, he wants to play with the thing in the ship, and but you're right. He's doing these like advanced Force maneuvers that we're like led to believe actually requires like concentration and know-how, or at least we were led to believe that until Rey started doing them. But he doesn't even get a new outfit.
Yeah.
Like, so my whole take has been everybody who wants Grogu merchandise has Grogu merchandise.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no need to get another Grogu plush or another Grogu doll because it's the same thing. If they were to could you imagine if they put him in like Mando armor? Mm-hmm. Or like they gave him just any kind of difference. I think if they gave him a lightsaber, if they gave him, like actual different kinds of robes.
If he was competent.
Yeah, if he was competent, they have him talk. His first word would break the internet.
Yeah.
But Kathleen Kennedy has said he will never speak, ever. Like, she has already said in an interview, he's never going to change because they think they have a cash cow with this.
Well, and it's okay if he never talks. Perhaps he is mute. But personal growth and development would be key. If he was strapped into a chair at somewhere, maybe not this one because of what, but if he was competent, if he was a skilled pilot at this point, which he should be with all of his misadventures with Mando, then it would be acceptable. If he was basically now in a teenager mindset, this would be so much more alluring to me. But I'm just like, he's still a baby.
This was the tricky thing about, doing a baby Yoda at all, right? Because Yoda's race, he's like 900 years old. And so to grow him in the time that it would take in order for him to develop and so forth and really turn into kind of a more, I don't know, seasoned Jedi, or at least approaching that Jedi status right there, it would take a long time in a time.
We don't know that because Yoda's race is a mystery. We don't even know what race Yoda is. What if they're a very fast-paced, as far as development goes? Just means that aging is slower.
That's also true.
Well, that's true. I was also going to maybe suggest, maybe, because I think there were some theories early on that he might be a clone. Okay, well, we know that clones can you can expedite their growth period, right? And so you could have some plot contrivances, is what I'm saying, Tabitha, to your point, in order to develop this character. Unfortunately, they really have not done that, and so he's kind of stuck in the same place that we've seen him since season 1. That's why it was so pivotal to separate them out and play their stories maybe concurrently, maybe separately, and then maybe join them on the big screen for the big reveal, and hey, they're getting back together and so forth, but they're different characters at the end there. That could have... Oh, please.
Could you imagine if that's what this movie was? If it was them coming together again after being separated at the end of season 2, if they hadn't immediately undone that, like, this movie would make $1 billion easily because people would still care. Nobody really cares as much anymore. From what
Absolutely. And, the comparisons to Groot are very interesting because, to your point, Tabitha, and to your point, Marvin, the development of this character, right? So, like Groot, you see him, it's almost like a different character in every single movie that you see him in. It's really quite interesting, the tact that was taken with that character. Versus this one, it's basically the same thing every single time. And there is no, without that moment, Marvin, of coming together or really a reason to get back into theaters and see their story actually play out, it just kind of falls flat. And with this clip specifically, the effects and everything like that, it kind of says to me Book of Boba Fett speeder chase to me, and that's not a guy movie.
This is not a man's movie. This is a take your kid to see Star Wars movie, which is nothing wrong with that. But given that that is not the demographic that Star Wars is supposed to be reaching, it's supposed to be something that catches the attention of the adults and then they share it with their children, not, oh, it's Saturday, Grogu movie's out. This isn't even Star Wars. This is Grogu movie. And the only reason I want to see this movie, honestly, is just because Sigourney Weaver's in it. It's literally, I want to know, what does she do in this movie? I just want to see Sigourney Weaver because I love her. I haven't seen her in a while. How is Susan doing? I want to know.
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. With Grogu, and I agree with you, this is a movie marketed to 5-year-olds, but the thing that loses me in the gag, and when you actually watch the clip in a way that you could see it, you'll be able to see my point here a little better, is Pedro Pascal's delivery is very dry. And it's very like this, and it's very patient. The thing that makes the Groot thing work is Rocket freaking out. When he's like, I am Groot. Yes, I am Groot. Yes, I am Groot. No! That's the thing that sells that entire thing.
Right.
Mando's just like, they're being, he's like, no, that's not the right
switch. Gentle parroting.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get yelled at. I am very curious as to how this film is going to do because I don't see a lot of excitement for it. It's got the Star Wars name. I don't think it goes as far anymore. And I think a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, well, this is a TV property. Why do I want to go to the movie to see it? Why don't I just wait for it to come to streaming and watch it? You
remember when shows like Stargate, SG-1, and they were so good and great, and they had all this stuff, and then they decided to make movies based off of the show, but they were like low budget movies just to continue the story.
Yeah.
That's what this is giving.
They have said this is like the cheapest Star Wars movie of the Disney era. Like it is the least, it has the lowest budget.
I didn't have to be told that.
Yeah, but right. But it's going to be opening. They're saying it's going to open lower than Solo did. And remember, Solo was the first movie to lose money. So you know the profitability, the profit margin for this movie is far lower than something like Solo. But I mean, still, are they going to hit it? That's the
I
question.
want to see somebody take this movie and then do a parody, and when it opens, the Lifetime. How did they go? The Lifetime. What was it? Those TV shows that they would do, the Lifetime premiere
special movies.
Yeah, I want to see that kind of like in the corner and then just slowly fade out. Lifetime original movie, Mando and Grogu.
Well, like, you know, like the Mandalorian and Grogu, I feel like that could be the title of a show on Disney Junior.
Yes,
like,
it should have been.
Yeah, like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, or the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, or something like that. Because it seems, but this is trying to market to kids, but it's also trying to market to like my wife, who doesn't really care about Star Wars but thinks the baby is very cute.
Right.
But she has everything that she could possibly get for the baby already. So, you know, it's a matter of whether there's still enough actual enthusiasm for the character, but also enthusiasm for Pedro Pascal, because remember, the summer of Pedro did not go well last summer. I mean, he was in 4 movies that came out in theaters, and I believe 3 of them were bombs, including a major Marvel blockbuster. So, you know, I don't underestimate Pedro, and it's not like previous Mandalorian seasons where you can kind of almost forget that he's Pedro Pascal, because the trailers have shown us his helmet's off.
They keep taking his freaking helmet off.
The coolest thing about this character is the helmet. Why? The only reason to take it off, the only reason to take the helmet off is because Pedro Pascal wants to take the helmet off.
Yes.
And the Hollywood media keeps saying, well, they have to have him take the helmet off because you have to bank on Pedro Pascal's star power. And I'm like, what? Like that is I would be hiding that he's in this movie. Go ahead, Vash.
Right. A big plot point as well of season 3 was the ramifications of having taken your helmet off. So it's kind of weird how it's like, we're going to take it off next time you see him. It's like, what? Like, stop doing this. Stop
if
having
you can't stand the heat, then don't be a Mandalorian, you know?
That's true.
My thing is that whenever he takes the helmet off, I'm like, why is his facial hair so immaculately groomed? Like, if no one ever sees him without his helmet off, why doesn't he have just like the bushiest beard known to man?
I think it's also they don't really know who to make this film for, because Pedro Pascal was kind of, a couple years ago, was kind of sort of, with some people, being portrayed as like this sex icon for women.
Right.
But now it's kind of gone towards the gay crowd as well. And then again, you've got Grogu for the children and for women who love adorable things. But then meanwhile, they're trying to make it seems like, I don't know if they're trying to do that or if it was just some of the shills or whatever, but turning, you know, the hut into some kind of masculine energy. So it's like Grogu was for the children. Mando was originally for the dudes. And then they started taking his helmet off, and then he suddenly became for the women and the dudes. Like, there's not like, it doesn't seem like there's a proper identity for who this is meant to be for.
Agreed.
So true.
Agreed. Well,
so
guys,
true.
We are going to see if this movie hits light speed at the box office or whether it crashes and burns. But when it comes to this movie, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.